think really what can only be described as tariff whiplash has happened in the past week, so I do want to go through a loose timeline in case anyone blinked and missed it. So first, April 2nd was dubbed Liberation Day by President Trump. That's when he unveiled his sweeping tariff policy. The market reaction was swift. Trillions was lost globally, stocks plunged, trade wars escalated, and fears of a recession dramatically increased. They officially went into effect after the clock struck midnight on Wednesday, and by Wednesday afternoon, President Trump announced a pause on most of the tariffs. A 10% baseline tariff, though, has remained, and then he ratcheted up the trade war with China. So I want to talk about, you have some numbers of Trump's approval and where it stood after the tariff announcement. What can you tell us?
Well, there were a lot of signs, hazard signs, I would call them, that were flashing bright yellow and again beginning to flash red. And it wasn't just the signal and the message that the bond markets sent to the president that investors were really pulling out of those bond markets even for safety, and major holders of U.S. debt like Japan were doing the same. But really, the president's approval numbers, job approval numbers, and his standing with voters was starting to take a hit very quickly because of the tariffs announcement. When we spoke right before the announcement, we said that the president, to begin with, had a very short runway when it came to these tariffs. And frankly, he ran out of that runway, at least for the time being, which is why it forced his hand on this 90-day pause. Bottom line, on April the 2nd, when the president announced the tariffs, he was at 52% approval with voters, above 50%, and a high approval for Trump historically, close to where he started off the year when he was sworn in as president. And by yesterday, that approval rating had fallen to 47%. So full 5 points across the board in a matter of a week. And even in a matter of a couple of weeks, his approval on handling the economy, which is the number one reason why voters voted for Trump, has decreased by 6 points. He was at 50% approval with regards to the economy on the 21st of March. And as of yesterday, that approval is below 44%. So the president got a series of signals, both from the markets and voters. And these are two of his prime and two of his favorite stakeholders. So to some extent, he was forced to listen, and he was forced to hit the pause button and reassess the tariffs policy going forward.